Hello, everybody. Today, I'm going to talk about unspoken great leadership principles. I'll do this from observation as well as my own personal experience. So, number one, rock solid principle is strong leadership bends but does not break. What does bend mean? Oftentimes, people think that a strong leader is one that has guardrails, has rules, has established a set pattern, and that pattern must prevail at all times and no matter what. But to be effective and a strong leader and an effective leader, you have to show some flexibility. And quite frankly, you need to show a lot of flexibility. And the more flexibility you show, the stronger you are. And that is that things don't have to be my way or the highway. I've said before that the reason why the highway is so jammed is because you've given an alternative, either my way or the highway, and so all the people are on the highway. But strong leadership also doesn't break. So it bends but don't break. And what do I mean by break? Too frequently, I've been in meetings and I've seen people that's completely lose it. They broke, they fell apart. And they broke apart by slamming their fists, hollering at people, and they call themselves leading or call themselves asserting authority. And that's just not strong leadership. Not only did I see them boil over and break, but they also broke other people. So remember, rock solid principle number one, strong leadership bends but does not break. You don't lose it under pressure. Then number two, rock solid principle. Great leadership recognizes character does matter. How you do is as important as what you do. A character does matter. I kind of took that from years ago when I saw a company, a large company. It was a global organization, and it just fell apart. As a matter of fact, they went bankrupt, and the jury came back, and the answer was the reason why the company failed and the reason why this global organization that had thousands of employees collapsed and now are no longer at work and the company's name is no longer in the record books is because character, the individual who was leading the organization, lacked character. They did not have principle. And we're seeing that so much in our world today where people lack character, they lack conviction, they lack even simple things such as right or wrong because people are unwilling to use the M word, that is morals, and oftentimes lack values. And all of those things are embedded into what causes and reflects character. How you do is as important as what you do. Consider this. I went to a restaurant and I was reminded it was a wonderful restaurant with a great reputation. And I got there and I said, the food was great, but the service was horrible. And so it did matter with regard to the service and how it impacted the food. So you can have great service, but bad food, or you can have bad food and great service. And so how you do matters. It's not just what you do, but it's how you do. And of course, great character is when you have great service and a great product. So character does matter. What you do, how you do is great how you do it and that you deliver it in a proper way. Character does matter. Then rock solid principle number three, leadership that empowers others so that others can lead and not have to be managed. I always talk to people oftentimes and they say, oh, I just want to find a great manager. I want to find a great manager, or somebody who says, well, I want to be a manager. And I've always thought to myself when we were running our organization, a global logistics company back in the day, and I said, I really don't want to have to manage people. What I'm interested in doing is having great leaders, people that can lead the way, lead the charge. Because managers, I've found, have to be managed. And although they may be managing other things, and they're used to managing other things, you really want a company, be it one, two, three people, or be it hundreds, that all can have an entrepreneurial spirit and that are great leaders. And then rock solid principle number 4, great leadership realizes that its leading is only as great as their followers who want to follow and not need to follow, and or just simply paid to follow. So let me say that again. Great leadership realizes that it has people who want to follow, not need to follow, or just paid to follow. So consider this. The whole ideal of needs and wants I muse over oftentimes, but do you want people with your organization? Notice the word want, people who are working with your organization because they need to? Do you desire people or would like to end up with people who are working with your organization only because they are paid to do so? Well, the key, the secret sauce, if you will, the unspoken secret sauce in your successful organizations, and oh, by the way, that is the result of a great culture, is when you have people who want to work in your organization. There's a reverse side to that too, as I talk to people oftentimes, and they are doing cartwheels and they're saying such and such needs me at a potential place, and they've come to need me, and I want to be needed at the job. And I say, well, what you really want to do is get to a place where you are wanted to be at the place, so that if there's ever, for example, during COVID, and there has to be shrinkage or there has to be decisions made, of course, it sounds good on the surface that, well, I'm going to be kept because I'm needed. Well, but when you start to do the shrinkage, and then when you start to look at your financials, and that's the leadership, and you start to take a look at, well, who do I really, here's the operative word, who do I really want in my organization? You begin to take a look at the people that you want even more than the people that you believe that you need, especially when you start having to make cuts. And I'm not just speaking flippantly about cuts, but I mean when you have to, as in golf, did you make the cut? And so in making the cut, normally, under most circumstances, because my need actually translate into a want. When I find myself being the best of the best, not just because they need me, but I'm the best of the best, it translates into wants, and that is through observation. You are wanted because you're the best of the best. You're not wanted because you're just simply needed. Meaning that, well, they can't do this without me because I'm the only person that can do this. No, by the way, live a while, and you'll find out that you're not the only person that could do a particular task. So let's recap these rock solid principles of just 4, and there's others, of unspoken great leadership principles. Number 1, strong leadership bends but does not break. Be flexible. Don't find yourself breaking and falling apart under pressure. Number 2, great leadership recognizes character does matter. And so focus on your character. There is such thing as good character and bad, and there is such a thing as bad character. Oftentimes people don't want to talk about good and bad, but there are bad characters in our world. And then number 3, rock solid principle, leadership that empowers others to lead without having to be managed. You want a great organization, or even a great family organization, empower other people to lead. And number 4, lastly, and there's with others, unspoken great leadership principles, is great leadership realizes that it is better to be wanted than needed, or just doing a job because I'm being paid to do it. I'll see you next time.